Welcome. Today's webinar is Mindfulness and Meditation, a practice for calmer minds, steadier bodies, and healthier daily rhythms, brought to you by Prescriptive Health Solutions. In a world that moves quickly, it's easy to live on autopilot. We rush from one responsibility to the next, respond to constant notifications, carry mental lists, and often operate under a steady layer of stress. Mindfulness and meditation offer a simple but powerful way to pause, breathe, and return to the present moment. But let's be clear, mindfulness is not emptying the mind or escaping responsibility. It's learning to pause, notice, breathe, and respond with more steadiness. So let's set some expectations for our session today. Mindfulness is best learned by practicing, so we're going to do just that. I invite you to participate at your comfort level, eyes open or closed, seated or standing, still or gentle movement. Let's get some clarity on definitions. Mindfulness is the practice of being aware of the present moment without judgment. It means noticing your thoughts, emotions, body, and surroundings as they are, rather than getting swept away by them. Meditation is one structured way to practice mindfulness, often by focusing on the breath, the body, or a simple point of awareness. Together, mindfulness and meditation help train the mind to slow down, refocus, and respond with greater calm and clarity. One of the most encouraging things about mindfulness is that it does not require special equipment, a perfect setting, or even a large block of time. You do not have to sit cross legged for an hour or completely clear your mind. In fact, trying to empty your mind is not the goal. The goal is to notice what is happening internally and externally, then gently bring your attention back to the present. Mindfulness meditation combines awareness of the present moment with acceptance of thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. The benefits of mindfulness and meditation are well worth the small investment of time. Research and clinical guidance connect mindfulness practices with reduced stress, improved focus, better emotional regulation, improved mood, and greater overall well being. The Mayo Clinic notes that mindfulness can help people move through the day with more calm, purpose, focus, and control. Benefits include stress reduction, improved sleep, lower psychological stress markers, and support for mental and physical health. Let's examine why it works in daily life. When you tie to work, parenting, caregiving, leadership, driving, relationships, mindfulness is especially helpful because it creates space between what happens and how we respond to what happens. Many of us react quickly when we feel overwhelmed, frustrated, anxious, or tired. Mindfulness teaches us to pause long enough to notice what is happening before we act. That pause can change the tone of a conversation, help us make a better decision, lower emotional intensity, or keep a stressful moment from controlling the rest of the day. Now, as we look at the two scenarios on this slide, autopilot pattern is when a trigger happens, we react right away. We react without thinking. We may be repeating old habits or feel swept along, and stress often builds unnoticed. A mindful pattern recognizes there's a trigger and then a pause and then a response. So we're noticing the trigger before reacting. We're choosing with intention on how we're responding. We're breaking old cycles instead of repeating them. And we're building calm resilience. Between the stimulus, of the trigger response, there's a space, and in that space is our power to choose. So let's look at the simplest starting point, our breath. Your breath is always available, it's always portable, and it's always a point of focus. So let's practice this. Sit or stand in a comfortable position. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Notice your natural breath. Pay attention to sensations, maybe feeling air moving in and out of your body. And when your mind wanders, gently return to your breath. Continuing to inhale and exhale, relaxing your shoulders, calming your mind, feeling the air move in and out. So as you practice this continually, maybe start with 60 seconds and then build from there. So let's put a practice into play. So let's do a 60-second breath reset. So times you might use this is before meetings or hard conversations, before you craft an email that you might be responding to that could potentially be a reaction and trigger, or transitions. Maybe it's a life transition. So once again, sit comfortably or stand, relax your shoulders, and bring your attention to your breath. As you inhale, notice the inhale, steady and easy. As you exhale, take a long, slow exhalation. When your mind wanders, gently return to your breathing and repeat 5 to 8 breaths, inhaling in through the nose, all the way into the belly, and exhaling, long, slow exhalation. Again, when your mind wanders, return to your breath. This is the practice. The aim is to not stop your thoughts, but to observe them and return to the breath as an anchor. Start with 3 to 5 minutes, and over time, you can increase the length if that feels helpful. Another practice is grounding. It's a sensory exercise that recommends using touch, sound, sight, smell, and taste to return your attention to the moment. It's useful in everyday settings because it does not require closing your eyes or even stepping away for long periods of time. So, as you think about 5, identify 5 things you can see. Look at your surroundings. Next, think about 4 things you can feel. Maybe it's the ground beneath you. Maybe it's the air in the room. Maybe it's the breeze against your hair, against your face. Maybe it's your clothes and how loose fitting or snug they feel against your body. Maybe it's your shoes. Think of 3 things you can hear. Listen closely. And 2 things you can smell. Then 1 thing you can taste. or one steady breath. A third practice is a 3-minute check-in. The 3-minute breathing space is a mini meditation for stressful moments. It utilizes your breathing to help calm your nervous system. So let's focus on the first step, awareness. Take 1 minute to notice thoughts, feelings, and body sensations without judging them. 2, gathering. Take 1 minute to bring attention to the breath. Let it anchor you. And 3, expanding. Take 1 minute to increase your awareness of your whole body. Broaden your attention to your entire body. And then choose your next wise step. What will you choose to do in that next moment? Mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated. Let's keep it simple. It can be practiced during your ordinary, everyday activities. Think about attaching it to something you already do. So, when eating, slow down and notice the smell, the taste, the texture, and the temperature of the food that you eat. Eat without technology being in your presence so that all of your senses are fully present. When you're walking, feel your feet touch the ground. When washing dishes, notice the warmth of the water and the movement of your hands. When driving, turn down distractions and bring your attention to your breath, your posture, and the road. When you take that first sip of coffee or tea, notice the warmth, the aroma, the texture. These simple acts turn everyday moments into opportunities for reset. Mindfulness can be practiced during daily activities, not only during formal meditation. Mindful movement and walking meditation is another opportunity. This intentional movement cultivates present moment awareness. Mindful walking is noticing each step and paying attention to the environment and your senses. So try it for 2 minutes. Walk slowly. Feel each foot lift, move, and touch down. Notice your posture, your breath, and your surroundings. When your mind wanders, return to the next step. This can be done in a hallway, a parking lot, a sidewalk, or maybe even your office. Have you ever noticed that when you go on vacation, you're more intentional about taking in the surroundings? It's almost giving yourself permission to have a heightened sense of awareness of your surroundings. You're more mindful about the trees, about the grass or the sand. It might be a different surrounding than you are used to at home. Take this same mindset into play when you do your mindful movement wherever you are today. A body scan is another practical tool, especially when stress shows up physically. This is a great opportunity to do as an evening reset. So start with a basic body scan. Start sitting or lying down comfortably. Begin to notice your feet. Then slowly move your attention up through your legs, your hips, stomach, chest, shoulders, arms, neck, and face. Notice areas of tightness, warmth, pressure, or ease without judging what you find. Simply observe. Try not to force relaxation. Simply notice and soften when you can. When you do this reset, start with 3 to 5 minutes. The body scan is a way to focus your attention systematically on different parts of the body and develop awareness of physical sensations and how to calm the body and relax the mind. Know that meditation is a practice, it's not perfection. There's often common obstacles that we find, and these are things that we often tell ourselves. Even brief moments can count, and 10 minutes can make a positive difference, but the key is consistency, not perfection. A few minutes a day can make mindfulness more natural over time. So even if you forget, pair it with a daily cue. So if you get distracted, so if you forget to practice, notice it and return to it. Just notice that's the practice. If you feel restless, try walking, stretching, or opening your eyes or open breathing. Start with a few minutes of focused breathing and build from there. Note that regular practice helps mindfulness become easier and more automatic. Even brief sessions can be meaningful, and that practice can be done with just a comfortable place, a few minutes, and a judgment free mindset. Building mindfulness habits is a great way to build this into a daily routine. So here's a suggested 7-day starter plan. Pick one specific cue and one practice. For example, after I pour my coffee, I will take a 3-minute mindful breath. After I park the car, I will do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding exercise before walking inside. Take an opportunity to keep it simple and build a habit and a routine that works for you. Making these tiny commitments will help you build this into your routine, and you'll start to notice that you reframe your thinking, and it helps build calm and serenity. It's important to note that mindfulness should not be used to avoid needed help. Mindfulness is wellness support, but it's not a replacement for care. Make sure you seek qualified support when your symptoms are intense, persistent, or even disruptive. Pause or modify a practice if it makes you feel overwhelmed, panicky, disassociated, or unsafe. If you have trauma, severe anxiety, depression, or intrusive memories, consider practicing with a qualified clinician or a trauma-informed teacher. The goal is steadiness, not pushing through distress. And as we close our practice today, let's focus on 3 breaths to reset. So, in your first breath, I want you to focus on arriving. Feel your feet, feel your seat, and the room around you. Your second breath, release. Let the shoulders drop and soften your jaw. On your third breath, choose. Ask, what is my next healthy, wise step? Open your eyes and carry that one step forward. Notice that mindfulness and meditation remind us that calm is not always found by escaping responsibility. Sometimes calm begins with noticing where we are, breathing through the moment, and choosing our next step with clarity. In that pause, we regain perspective. We reconnect with our body, our mind, and our purpose. And one small moment at a time, we learn to live with greater peace, focus, and resilience. Thank you for joining us today. For more information, please visit prescriptivehealthsolutions.com.